What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome back to my channel. And as I said in my last video, college football is back. So I did preview some games that happened on Thursday, as that video was posted on Friday. But I am posting this video earlier just so that, again, I can get more time and more games in my next video. So today I'm going to be reviewing Week 1 and previewing Week 2. So let's go ahead and get into the Week 1 review. There weren't a full slate of games, so I only picked a handful, but there were still some pretty good games and some surprises last weekend. We're going to start off with SMU and Texas State. The score was 31-24. SMU ended up winning, and I mean, what a game this was. It was a very back-and-forth game. Both quarterbacks played well. Shane Buechele with 367 yards, touchdown, 2 picks. And Brady McBride with 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Running backs were prominent in this game as well. TJ McDaniel for SMU, 130 yards with a touchdown, and Calvin Hill and Brock Sturgis together had 195 yards and a touchdown as well. Both teams threw the ball around a lot. For SMU, 3 receivers with 70-plus yards, and for Texas State, 5 receivers with 20-plus yards. I think SMU was the more dominant team in this game, and they showed that, and they happened to come out on top. I think SMU definitely is the better team, but Texas State gave them one heck of a fight, but SMU gets their first win of the season. Moving on, another American Athletic Sun Belt clash as the Arkansas State Red Wolves went up against the Memphis Tigers, which Memphis won 37-24. I did say this game was going to be closer than a lot of people think, as Lane Hatcher is one hell of a quarterback, but it was a surprise to me when they play Lane Hatcher and Logan Bonner in this game for Arkansas State together, 299 yards, and Logan Bonner had the touchdown and both of the picks. The entire Arkansas State team played really well. Just Memphis played better. Brady White with 275 yards and 4 touchdowns, doing Brady White stuff. Sean Dykes had 133 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, along with Rodriguez Clark, who had 105 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown as well. Memphis, again, just the more dominant and, in my opinion, more talented team. I think if Arkansas State would have played Lane Hatcher more, he just proved himself last year to be an absolutely phenomenal quarterback, and I thought he was going to continue that into this year. Again, the first game's kind of an experiment game, especially in these times, but Memphis does come out on top of this one. Then the surprise of the weekend, at least for me, I picked Navy to quote-unquote upset BYU. I know BYU was favored, but I went to bed at halftime. I'm not gonna, or not to bed, but I turned it off at halftime. I couldn't watch anymore. But the BYU Cougars beat the Navy Midshipmen 55-3. I believe the score was something like 31 or 33-0 at halftime. Navy only had 149 total yards and had 6 penalties for 54 yards to BYU's 1 penalty for, I think, 5 or 10 yards. Not a lot of turnovers. They only lost a fumble, but BYU just played amazing. Tyler Algier and Lopini Katoa for BYU, the running back duo there. 24 carries for 212 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Gunnar Romney had only 4 receptions, but 134 receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. BYU gets a dominant win over the Navy Midshipmen. And I think this just shows that Navy is going to miss Malcolm Perry this year. I thought they were still going to be decent, but it looks like tough times are ahead for the Navy Midshipmen. And there is your Week 1 preview. All right, now let's get into the Week 2 preview. So Week 2, again, the ACC and the Big 12 are kicking off play. And again, there's not a whole list of great games, so I've only picked 5 that I'm going to preview and predict here for you guys. And the first one is the only game that is happening on a day that is not Saturday. SMU and TCU were scheduled to play, but because of positive test concerns in the TCU locker room, they decided to postpone that game. So the only game happening on a day that is not Saturday is UAB and Miami. UAB is won their first game of the season. Sorry if you hear thunder. It's thunderstorming here right now. But UAB won their first game of the season. It was pretty tight, pretty close. But UAB still got the win. I thought they were going to be one of the better teams in Conference USA and one of the better teams in Group of 5. And I still think they got some work to do. They still got some stuff to show, but they're going to go up against the Miami Hurricanes, who have De'Aaron King now. So De'Aaron King is going to make his debut. Some defensive players from Miami, including star defensive end Gregory Rousseau, have opted out, but nonetheless, Miami is still favored by 14 points, and the over and under being 54.5. All the over and unders here, you're going to see right around that mark. But Miami favored by 14, which I think is about right. I do want to see how De'Aaron King plays, but for right now, I am giving Miami the win and UAB the loss here. I just think Miami's got too much talent, and UAB just did not prove themselves enough to me in their first game of the season to put Miami on upset alert here. I have the Hurricanes winning this one. Moving on, this is going to be quite a game. Louisiana Raging Cajuns versus the Iowa State Cyclones. And don't let that 11.5 points fool you for Iowa State. Louisiana is a pretty solid team. They've been in the Sun Belt Championship with App State for the past couple of years and have held their own against the Mountaineers, who are considered the kings of the Sun Belt Conference. But the Raging Cajuns are no joke. They have some of the best offensive power in the entire nation, with the over and under being 56.5. This definitely is going to be a high-scoring game when you have Brock Purdy over there for Iowa State and just all the offensive weapons over there for Louisiana. I think this one is going to be closer than that 11.5 point spread, but I am going to give Iowa State the win here. I just think that they are the more talented team, and I think are just more equipped to handle Louisiana defensively than Louisiana is equipped to handle Iowa State and Brock Purdy. This, for me, is game of the week. I know game day is going to Clemson, Wake Forest. We'll look at that one a little bit, but honestly, this for me is game of the week. This is going to be an absolute thriller to watch, and I'm not going to miss this one. I hope you guys don't either, but I am giving Iowa State the win. Moving on, ACC is also kicking off play along with the Big 12, and we have Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets, and the Florida State Seminoles. I think this one can be pretty interesting too. Florida State's supposed to improve this year, but so is Georgia Tech, from being dead last in the ACC and pretty much every category, every statistical category, and just watching them on the field, they by far were the worst in the ACC. They're bringing back a lot of great talent and definitely should be able to compete in this one with Florida State. Now, Florida State, again, as I said, is supposed to be getting better, but we've been saying that about Florida State for so many years now, and it hasn't happened. I feel like Florida State's going to get a little better this year. They are favored by 12.5 points. I do feel like Georgia Tech is going to cover that spread. The over and under is going to be 52.5. So for you betting folks out there, but honestly, this game I do have going to Florida State. I mean, with the improvement that I think Georgia Tech is going to make this year, I just think Florida State's going to make much more of an improvement and just downright are the more talented team. So Florida State opens up ACC play with a nice W. Moving on, this is where game day is going, and they're going there because the Clemson Tigers are kicking off their season. Number 1 ranked Clemson Tigers are going to face the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. I believe this is the first time that game day has ever gone to Wake Forest, and they expect a lot of points in this one, mainly from Clemson, as they are favored by 33.5, with the over and under being 60 points. There's no debate here, right? I mean, Wake Forest was one of the surprise teams in the ACC last year. I believe they went 8-4 and were ranked at some point during the season, but they were also led by Jamie Newman on that offense, and he has since transferred to Georgia and opted out of the season. So Sam Hartnell is back there, and I don't like letting people forget about Sam Hartnell. Still a great quarterback, but even with Justin Ross out, you got to think. I mean, Clemson just is the most talented team in the entire nation that is playing right now. You can make the case for Ohio State, but of course they're not playing. But to me, Clemson, up there with Alabama as the most talented team in the entire nation this year, and there really is no reason to put them on upset alert here against Wake Forest. Wake Forest is just losing so much production, and not a lot is expected out of Wake Forest anyway. So Clemson, in my opinion, is going to get the easy win to start out their season. And the last game we're going to be previewing is, I've already talked about Arkansas State today, but let's talk about them in a game that they still have yet to play. They're going to play against the Kansas State Wildcats as they open up their season as a 10.5-point favorite against Arkansas State. Now, Arkansas State's already faced a tough challenge in Memphis. Memphis still a very, very good team. Over and under for this one going to be 54 as Arkansas State. That loss not looking great as Kenneth Gainwell actually did not play in that game for Memphis. But, I mean, when you look at it, Arkansas State and Kansas State, this also should be a good one. Not going to put this game on upset alert, though. I do have Kansas State winning this one, but, I mean, if they play Lane Hatcher more than Logan Bonner, and Lane Hatcher can get back to his form he was last year, this is going to be a very, very close game as Kansas State and Skylar Thompson not expected to make any big improvements. So this definitely could be a game to be put on upset alert. But I do have Kansas State winning this game. That is actually going to do it for the Week 2 preview. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that I didn't preview a whole lot of games, but again, it's a staggered start as more and more teams get to playing. I will be previewing and reviewing more and more games. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like. Also consider subscribing if you are brand new to the channel, or you just enjoy my content, turn on the notification bell to join Tailgate Nation so you do not miss an upload. And leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on the game slated for Week 2. Give me your thoughts on Week 1. And tell me if you think I got my predictions right, or leave a game down below that you would like to hear my thoughts on that I did not cover in this video. And as always, until next time, remember to play hard and tailgate harder. I'll see you guys next week with my Week 2 review and Week 3 preview. Goodbye.